Yeah. Celina and I were talking about how we feel so blessed.
We
Hello,
do.
everybody, and welcome to the divine. Nancy and I have been playing around with the title, the divine feminine within, or just divine feminine. And I added within because the divine feminine is within all of us, no matter if we're man or if we're woman. We all have, the spark of her, within
Yep.
us. So, again, within. So divine feminine within. Nancy had planned on joining us. However, she let me know last night that she still was under the weather. And so
Feel
she will
better,
not be
Nancy.
able to, yes, join us. But we'll be back next week. And so we can just keep sending Nancy lots of healing energy. I just love when they say healing energy, I just imagine a hug. That way you're putting your arms around them and you give that unconditional love and
Yeah.
healing energy, that way. So it's kind of like the hug over the heart. So I have Celina with me today,
Hello.
and everyone's gonna be like, "Boy, she's making a lot of visits
I
to your
know.
channel." Yes, I just love Selena's energy. We connect well, we read together well, and I thoroughly enjoy her energy. There we go. Words. Here we
Thank you.
go.
I
We're
enjoy
getting
yours
towards the
too.
end of the day.
I know.
Um,
Words, words.
yes. And Magus has been waiting for us. Hello, Magus, my dear.
Hello.
And I'm sure Nancy will pop into chat, but in the meantime, tell Nancy I love, love, love her and miss her. And we do too. And Moira is here. Hello,
Hello.
Moira. And every time, whoops, there we go. StreamYard's okay, tweaking. Sometimes when I'll go and click on something, it jumps to the one above or to the one below, and I have to click and unclick. But it's StreamYard
And
and
it's technology.
retrograde. Yep, like
Yeah.
I was telling Selena backstage, the only retro was it you or was it Jackie? I said the only retro that I want to be is 80s retro, not Mercury retro.
And I'm like, the only Mercury I want is Freddie Mercury.
And that's there you go. You was Freddie
Yeah.
Mercury. There we go.
Mm.
And Hannah is back. Hello, hello, my dear.
Oh, thank you. You
Um,
too.
and Magus says, "Love you. We love you too,
We
Magus."
love you.
And chat roulette. Yes, that's what it is. So today we are planning on talking about not just goddesses or divine feminine of inspiration, but these could be very well women who have we know for sure that have physically walked the earth, that have inspired us through their actions. And anybody in chat who has any, whether it's they've become ascended masters, they're goddesses, um, or they're considered just divine feminine, please go ahead and share. As I was telling Celina backstage, for me, Georgia O'Keeffe is a divine feminine for me because she was full of inspiration. She inspired me to become a painter. I was in high school, and one of my classmates, I remember her name because it was so unique. Her name was Evilise,
Mm-hmm.
and she says, "Well, haven't you ever heard of, Georgia O'Keeffe?" And I'm like, "No." She goes, "How do you not?" And she was telling me about the bones and the flowers. And then
Yeah.
my art teacher, Mrs. Cole, decided to show us that documentary that came out that year. And it was like, I think a year after she passed away when we got to see it. And it was just like, oh my God, the bones. That's what I loved the most was the skulls, the bones with the animals, the
Mm-hmm.
flowers. Because I've never really like resonated with like human bones, but when it comes to animals, they're like poetry. I mean, they're
Mm-hmm.
just absolutely beautiful. And so for me, Georgia has always been one of my female inspirations. So has my art teachers. Mrs. Cole never got to see me graduate from high school. She ended up developing a brain tumor, and she passed away, and so she
Wow.
couldn't be there for graduation. But she continued to inspire me.
She was there
Marilyn
in spirit.
Wilson, she was there and inspired me to be my best. And then, of course, I just reconnected with my art mom. I told her I call her my
Oh, that's
mentor
right.
from
You did get
college.
together with her.
Well, not in person. We mean we keep, we were hoping to
Okay.
do it this weekend, but we're maybe aiming for next weekend because she's just
Okay. I know you
extremely busy.
mentioned
But
that.
we've talked twice now on the
Nice.
phone, and she never liked George O'Keefe, but we won't go down that rabbit hole. But her name is Connie, and I told her you are my art mom.
Aw.
I you believed in me when nobody else did, even though she goes, I was hard on you. I really was really hard on you. And I said, but sometimes that's what I needed, you know?
Mhm.
And yes, she was unnecessarily hard at points, but her and I have talked. And so for me, she will always be an inspiration, for me as well. So it could be somebody, in your life, whether you've known or not known, that has inspired you. Um, that is also can be considered to me goddess energy. And just up here, real quick, as we're Celina and I want to encourage everybody to share and chat. The women, whether divine feminine,
Mhm.
ascended master, people in your life that you consider inspiration to you. And I just want to back up a little bit. Rochelle is here. Hello,
Hi, Rochelle.
Rochelle.
Welcome.
Yes, good to see you. And making sure I did. Everyone's saying hello. And Lottie B came back. Hello, Lottie
Hi,
B.
Lottie.
And she's
She had
a
internet, or she
musical
had,
goddess.
and then
Yes.
Lottie had internet issues, or she said hers was like she was having issues with it in the last stream, wasn't she?
It was either Lottie or there was somebody else, but hopefully, oh no, this would be here, Hannah. So Hannah,
Oh,
you
okay.
are here, George O'Keefe. Yes, yes. And there was another artist too that we could mention. Her name was Artemisia Gentileschi. I always kind of butcher her name a little bit, but it's Italian, and sometimes they draw out a little bit. But Artemisia Gentileschi was actually a well-known artist. She was a painter. She was during the Renaissance period, and she overcame her tutor to teach her to paint. Her father, got this man to come tutor her to teach her. She was his apprentice. He assaulted her, and so then he apparently her father wanted to marry her. I mean, talk about strength to be
Yeah.
able to withstand. I mean, she could have thrown away and say, oh my God, and only associated painting with that type of pain. But she found the strength in herself to keep painting. And she was an
Despite.
accomplished master.
Yeah.
And so, any, you know, there are so many. And just really quick, because Celina brought something really beautiful, a goddess from her goddess book that I totally want her to share. I just fell in love with her. I didn't even know about her until she shared with me with her backstage. But there are goddesses of inspiration. The
Mhm.
muses, of course, was the first ones that popped up when I typed in goddesses of inspiration, and they are connected to literature, science, and the arts. Calliope was poetry. Cleo was considered history. Polyhymnia was hymns. Euterpe was the flute, which I used to play when I was younger. Terpsichore, light verse and dance. Ir, Irako, she was lyric, choral, and poetry. Okay, Melpom. Oh, and I practice these names, and I'm still um, Melpomene was tragedy, or Melpomene, tragedy, Talia, comedy, and Urania, astrology, astronomy, and space itself. And then Delphi had their own three, and they were Nete, Messe, and Hepate, names of the three chords of the ancient lyre. So each of their names represented the three strings on the ancient
Oh,
lyre.
nice.
So I thought that was really interesting.
Mhm.
And then the other ones that came up was Sarasvati, Caradwen, Bridget, of course. I mean, the
Mhm.
Celtic goddess of inspiration of hearth and bards and poetry, and Allah, which is the oldest of the goddesses of the Igbo, which is from
Mhm.
Nigeria. So a lot of and something too, Celina. I don't mean to keep a thought that just came back to me, something that I wanted to share in the past, and I'm glad you mentioned Ascended Masters backstage.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that in some decks, and this is not me, not judging deck creators or anything, but I have noticed that to make people more, to make goddesses and gods more palpable to people who are more, mainstream, that come from a mainstream religion or traditional religion, patriarchal religion, they've been putting goddesses and giving them the name of ascended master. And I noticed it, and I'm seeing some going, wait a minute, ascended master? Bridget? No, she's goddess. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so I've noticed that, and this is just a Heather thing, but
But they
I've
have
noticed,
multiple titles, I feel like, not just, I mean, I feel like
yeah,
how we were looking at this goddess book. This is one of the books that I'm referring to as You Are a Goddess. I don't know if it's like reading for you guys properly or if it's like mirrored,
no,
flipped
it's
over.
perfect. Mm-hmm,
Okay. Here they mention Mother Mary as a goddess, but she's also considered an ascended master.
mm-hmm.
So they do have different. I mean, I guess depends on how you want to see it. Like some
Perspective.
people don't,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, some people don't want to do it as a goddess. They want to see it as an ascended master because they're, they
They're more
see
easily
it
digestible, yeah, for
correct,
their religion.
correct.
Yeah.
And that's how I mean, they have many different like Kuan Yin, she's also an ascended master, but she's also considered a goddess,
Yes. Yes.
so they have, I guess, like you just said, make it more palpable for people. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with an ascended master. I'm not working with a goddess because it's too woo woo for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only, I guess, downfall part of it, I guess.
And I think too, for people who like come from a Christian background, there
Mm-hmm.
is supposed to be no God other than God.
Correct.
So if you want to, and I think in a way that does bring at least the image or these goddesses and gods into, you know people's lives to enrich them. To me, it also in a way, it's like that double-edged sword, because then you almost kind of strip them of their divinity. But who say we're stripping them of anything? They may not even consider
Mm-hmm.
themselves, you know what I mean? But for to make things, like you said, more digestible, more palpable, they've considered them, an ascended master. So it's just really, whatever somebody, which what relates to them,
Yeah,
more comfortably than others.
true.
And I just want to say hello to Shelby. Moon Fox is here, and she
Hello.
says, I don't know of anyone for me to be a divine feminine, but I have a lot of people, specifically women, who have
Oh,
helped me through
nice.
my life. So there
Yeah.
you go. And there was another, because let's see, chat is jumping. I remember Aquarius, that is Justine. No, 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 no. Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina. So Carolina is here. Hello,
Hola.
Carolina. And Moira says, how do you define goddess energy?
Ooh, it's empowering to me. It's very, for me, it's just they help empower you in your femininity, because we were so in a uh, masculine world previously. Like any woman that had power was automatically considered a threat, and
Mm-hmm.
they got rid of them. So I feel like for me, these goddesses empower me as a with my feminine energy and give me back what I felt like I lost not only in this lifetime but in previous lifetimes,
Mm-hmm.
because of the trauma that I went through previously. So to me it's empowerment. It's um reassuring me, it's giving me back my self-love, helping me love myself again, and not be afraid of the powers that I do have as a woman now, is as a someone who is a witch, who
Mm-hmm.
it's to me it's very much needed in our day now. Um, I think maybe 30 years ago it was probably a little bit different to see it that way, but I think now it's That's such a rise in goddess energy and goddess work. I find it to be incredible. It's perfect timing, I feel.
I know when I was in my 20s, the women, the goddess movement was really starting to pick up. I was learning about Starhawk. I was learning about
Mhm.
Margot Adler. And there was even a documentary that had been released that we got to see in college in my women in religion class that our Dr. Ferguson, she made sure we saw, and she was a Franciscan nun because she wanted us to learn about Wicca, goddess worship. She wanted us to know that there
Mhm.
was a divine, such a thing as a divine feminine, not
Mhm.
just Mary. And Mary kind of being stripped of that divinity that was taken away from
Yeah.
her, goddess like energy. I mean, she could be considered, they didn't want her worshiped, but yet people still, practitioners still keep her in that place. You know what I mean? There was just
Mhm.
no way that they could take that, away from her. And for me, Moira, goddess energy is the feminine. And we are masculine and feminine energy. Whether or not you believe that the god and goddess concept is just strictly energy, it what makes us all. We both have it. And for me, the goddess energy, and this is kind of where you kind of get like, again, you start um, kind of blending. It's like it's not black or white. I mean, for
Yeah.
me, it's, when you say goddess, people think nurturing, yes, caring, yes, creative, yes, but so are men.
Mhm.
They can be creative. So I think it's the concept of, because a goddess can also be the things that male energy can be. And so it's really, I think that is a really good question, Moira. Um, for me, though, in our day and age, I think the feminine brings really does bring a more nurturing, a more
Mhm.
um, emotional. Whereas, when it comes, especially in this day and age, when a lot of people are so quick to war, and the that heated energy of I'm not knocking any of the men in our groups or in our circle, but that testosterone, that male energy, because women can be like this too, but there's just so much of the male agenda, the male aggressiveness, whereas the feminine is can be a little bit softer. And again, I don't want to put labels or parameters on what goddess energy can be. I think it's just a natural, like with the tarot we were talking about. You have your basic RWS, and
Mhm.
then there will be decks that will work off of that to show different aspects of that. So the same, I think, with like God and goddess energy. The goddess is seen as nurturing, life giving, creative, nurturing, and then you can expand off of that into other areas. So I think that's kind of where that energy, if that makes sense to anybody. But Moira, that is
Yeah.
a great question.
Mhm.
And so
The
thank you
chat is
for
hopping. Yeah, I see
it
that.
is. I know I need to get my butt going here. Lexi is here.
Hi,
Hello, my
Lexi, mi
dear.
hermana.
And Allison is back. Hello,
Hello.
girl. Let's see. Yes, Moira did have a very good question.
Mhm.
Um, and so how do you define? So yeah, we okay. She was just repeating that in case I missed that, but that is really a good question. And Beth is here. Hello, Beth.
Hi.
Let's see. Let's see. Saying hello to so everyone's saying hello. Me the same. Here, let me That's a good analogy. Thanks, girl. Let's see. Goddess energy is the encouragement to take pride, to be independent, to be equal, to stand tall in my womanity, with all my qualities, the confirmation that I am worthy. And I think I will
Yep.
also answer that goddess energy, female energy, into the physical is being able to give birth. That is one thing a woman can do that a man cannot do. And we were just watching something on TV briefly by Greg Braden, and they're in the process of the FDA approving it. Probably he said by 2030, the scientists are looking to start creating artificial wombs
Oh,
where anybody can be grown, animal child. And they said, from what it looks like, the
That
FDA
sounds
could
like a wreck.
possibly have this approved somewhere around 2030. So there again, they say, well, this is the AI. We have to move forward. This is how we evolve. And for Shan and I were watching, we both agree that this is devolving. This is taking the sacred. This is taking the beauty of who we are as a species,
Yeah.
instead of focusing on how we can become more peaceful, how we can become more respective of the planet, how we can take better care of ourselves and the animals and everything. Let's see how they're going to even make it more sterile, more, and say that with the AI and everything, they want to start creating artificial wombs. And so that to me is, that just blows my mind. And to me, that's a slap in the face of all women who have given birth. I have never wanted to. I've never had a desire to have kids, but the women
Yeah.
who have had them and what they had to go through to carry, and that bond that you create with your child.
Well, even for someone who miscarried,
Hmm. And I've had friends too that have
the
lost, miscarried.
yeah, I mean, I have.
Um,
So, yeah, to me, it's like a slap in the face. Like you don't mean anything. You're not worth anything.
yeah. So it's just another way of invalidating, you
Yeah.
know, um, and not only for women though, for men as well. Um, it's kind of a scary time, but just got to stay positive. And um, Nancy is here.
Oh, hello,
Hello,
Nancy.
Nancy. I thought she would be able to pop in and say hello. State of Grace is here, and that is Irene. No, that is Justine. I promise I'm learning the names, everybody. Janet Lee is here. Hello,
Hello.
Janet. Um, what I wrote is just a little bit. I do not claim to know exactly what her energy is. Yeah, I mean, the goddess. Here's an answer. Who is the goddess? What is goddess energy? Sit down in meditation and speak with her. She's within you. If you want
Hmm.
the answer, go
Perfectly said.
within. Go within, and she will be there, because we are not, because someone, there was a Wiccan author that kind of was upset where women would say, I am the goddess. And she was like, no, you are of the goddess, but you are not the goddess. And so that was kind of an interesting, but yeah, we each contain a spark of the divine feminine as we do the masculine. And Rochelle is here, and look who popped in.
Oh,
Hi, Miss
hello.
Tarot D. How are you feeling, my
We
dear?
love
It's so good
you.
to see you. We love, love, love you. An AI room is the least of my worries right now. Hasn't happened, not going to be on my radar. This was just something that Shan likes to watch, YouTube. And Greg Braden has always had very interesting videos.
Hmm.
He's on Gaia, and he is very concerned. He's been around to conventions and where he speaks, and he's been listening to these speakers and how how scientists and researchers are where they're wanting to go in the future. And AI can be a great tool, but we have to learn how to make sure that he's
Why not try
emphasizing to
and
keep
cure
it.
cancer first before we start trying to have babies? If they can have
Exactly.
the AI to create
Thank
life,
you.
why not use AI or any of that to cure cancer? Why? Because it's too much money for the pharmaceutical companies
And the hospitals to lose.
and the
Exactly.
hospitals, and so they're going to lose money because of that, which is ridiculous.
And that's why there will
Ugh.
always be, unfortunately. Shelby says, this is one of the reasons why I defiantly believe that just because it can be done doesn't mean that it should be done. Exactly. So Miss Terrell D, everyone's saying hello to everybody. So,
Aw.
oh my goodness. And Shelby says, I can feel Mother Earth screaming right now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure she's probably in tears right now listening to that, hearing that.
And Allison says, it won't be allowed to happen in her opinion. I think a lot of things go on without our knowledge. I mean, I hope you're wrong, my dear, believe me, but I think a lot of things go on between, dark money. And yes, I do believe there's dark money, there's dark government, military tests, and things that go on. I know I got to be careful. This is YouTube, but um, there's just a lot of stuff that goes on that that we don't know about, and sometimes bits and pieces get out here and there, but those little things are just little tiny pieces of a much bigger puzzle.
Mhm.
But I think if there are still those of us who hold on to the light, who hold on to, or I should just say not of the light, but of the light and the dark, have that balance of both. One, we become more, I guess, stable, more grounded. Um, because a lot of times I'll start my day and I'll see either on YouTube or I'll see on the TV YouTube videos, or on my phone articles starting to state,
Mhm.
well, so and
I've
so
seen
he's
those,
doing
yeah.
this now, and other ones saying we're going into fascism now, and this is going on, and I'm just like, whoa, and this is just first thing in the morning, and I'm getting bombarded, and I'm like, no, we need to
I'm
stay
not allowing
calm.
that into my energy right now. I'm not allowing that
Yes.
into my mindset or no.
Yes. And Shelby said, "Hi, Miss Tarot D. If your ears were ringing, I was thinking about you earlier." I think
Oh,
we all think about Miss Tarot D, at some point every day. I know I do. And Elson said there will be too much pushback. They may have the signs, but most people would protest that. Yeah, a lot of people would, but believe me, there still are going to be closed doors, things, I mean,
yeah.
there's just no way around it. That's how our governments, and those in power, and so we even need more of the divine feminine, and that mother, to remember the mother, to remember the nurturing, to remember the compassion. Um, I keep saying today. I really got to work on the ums,
Yeah,
but that's how I
you
seem to
mentioned that in the
process my
previous
thoughts.
video.
I know it's how I process one thought to the others by saying that.
Yeah.
And yes, Allison, cancer was cured a long time ago. Oh, Miss Tara D said my puppy just jumped my stomach right on my wounds, and I'm
Hmm.
so much pain that I want to put her up for adoption. Oh,
Aw,
honey.
little baby girl, you
Oh,
too.
Lola. Yeah. And that's why when I see my friends, Miss Taro D, Deb H, women in my family, especially my aunts that I've lost, my aunt Carla back in 1980, she was a mother of five, and they told her she just had a cold. And by the time they realized she had cancer, it had gone through her whole body, from her breast out through her body. She was 37 years old, you know,
Oh,
and my mom beat breast cancer twice, and yet it's just, and from what Allison and I, and not to go down that rabbit hole, but I know, Allison agrees, and I hope, Allison, you're going to be doing your show at some point where you discuss how a lot of the toxic foods that we eat, especially
hmm.
sugar, feeds on that cancer. And it's interesting because when you see TV and commercials pushing certain types of ideology, the materialistic, the food, the
Hmm.
stuff, they know that we're going to be taking that all into our bodies on all sorts of energy levels, and then how's that going to process through our fear, through our through everything, and how's that is going to produce the illnesses, which is going to be, oh, here's the pharmacy, I got a pill for that,
Correct. And that's
so.
the funny thing is that in other countries, a lot of the products that we do eat and are in our food are banned.
Mm-hmm.
But
Exactly.
we have them here and we feed this to our kids and our women and children and
Yeah.
that's what it's just a
Yep.
continuation of the disease. Yeah, it's all
All
about the
about the
money,
money.
Allison.
And
Bottom line.
Mr.
It's all about the bottom line.
Yeah. And I will not read this out loud just for YouTube purposes right now, but we all see this, and yeah, a lot of it happens now where over, people don't realize it, but over, I think the number was around 800,000 children go missing
Yep.
every year, you
Yep.
know and where do a lot of those children come from and go to places where, you know so yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. um Lab grown meat is creepy, yes it
Mm-hmm.
is. Lexi, my sexy. And so, yeah, we're getting a lot of, it's just, and yes, pure
Pure
perversion.
perversion. That's correct. It is.
And how come we can't take care of the children we have now? Thank you. There
Hmm.
are too many kids in foster care, and because there's not enough help in the social work system to be able to monitor those homes that the kids are sent to, they get abused. Not all of them, but more than should get abused. They get mistreated,
Hmm.
um,
They're only
all
taken
for
in
the
because of the
money.
money. Yeah.
Hmm. Exactly. So, and the money machine is what decides what happens. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. And yes, they will do it behind closed doors. I mean, people think I'm a conspiracy theorist because I believe in a dark government. What I mean, hello, have you not known or seen the
We need to
history of
get
our
Rochelle on
country?
here for conspiracy theories.
Oh, Rochelle, yes,
She's a
before I move.
huge conspiracy. I mean, I am too. I love
And
conspiracy
people say,
theories
but
and
the thing is about conspiracy,
alien stuff, and like I'm totally
there's
here for that.
there's a bit of truth. There's something's
Hmm.
got to, start, and um, yeah.
There's an agenda to everything.
Especially, well, I'll just say Gene Hackman. We just watched a
Hmm.
video on him. He left Hollywood for the things that people like Sloan Bell has been talking about, and a few other people have tried to get out of Hollywood, have
Yeah.
talked about what goes on there. And yeah, so, and we have the Wild Witch here with us.
Oh, hello, Star.
Star is her name. Okay.
Yes.
So Wild Witch, I'm trying to keep a list of all the new peeps. So Wild Witch is Star. All right. Because I mean, so many new people through Rochelle,
Yeah.
through
Star's really,
Carla.
she's such a nice person to talk to, and she's so incredible. Look up her channel. If anyone can put her channel on here, she's such a good, she has like,
Critical thinking.
her and Tova. I'm not sure if they're doing that anymore. I felt like I just recently saw something on her channel that she's not
Hi,
doing the
Karen.
cauldron talk, but
Ooh, sounds interesting.
yeah,
And
put her channel on there.
so, yeah, Miss Tarot D has knowledge of how certain things run with what they do and for work. And
Hmm.
a lot of us see what people don't realize what, like I said, what goes on.
Yeah, there's an
Um,
agenda to everything.
and has happened in my own family too, with the kids. And when I try to get my nose into it, and it's kind of,
Yeah.
told to mind my business. So, all I can do is put that energy out there for them to be protected, to make the right decisions. And, that's all I can do. And this is a YouTube. Okay, so Miss Tarot D is sharing a YouTube channel. So, alrighty, I'll have to go check that out later on.
Hmm.
And I think I said, oh, did Carl, wait a minute, did you just pop in? I thought you were in
I,
earlier.
no, I think she just popped in.
Oh, because I was talking about my Aunt Carla. That's why when I found out that was her name, I was just like, because that was my auntie, and my mom said, you were her favorite niece.
Aw.
So, and my Aunt Carla actually, 2 weeks after she passed, now I don't see spirit. I don't have the ability to really to see apparitions or ghosts or spirits. 2 weeks after my Aunt Carla passed away, I was woken up in the middle of the night. I was like, what, 8 or 9 years old. I heard my name being called. And when I opened my eyes and saw at the end of my bed, there was my Aunt Carla standing there, glowing white. She looked young, youthful. She was thin. Her hair was short. I saw her hair with a little flip on it. And she was just smiling at me. And I remember closing my eyes and opening up Aunt Carla. And when I opened up, she was gone. And I remember
Aw.
running in my parents' room, your girl, so she was there to say goodbye to me, or to let me know she was there.
Hmm.
So but yeah, because she had died of that
That's
cancer.
beautiful when they do
I
that.
wasn't even allowed to see her because
Yeah.
she was just, yeah. So yep, the sisters are here, Rochelle
Yes.
and Miss Carla. And if y'all didn't get to catch that live over the weekend that the two
So
sisters did,
good.
that was great. I loved it. And then yesterday, I got to meet Jazz through Althea's channel. Wow, talk about tapped in. This woman does not know any of us, and she was just picking up left on right when she was giving us these 2-minute channel readings. It was
Oh,
incredible.
nice. I'm
So
sorry I missed that.
it was really good. And let's see, during the last Orange administration, when we had thousands of border children separated from
Oh, I
parents, there
remember
was
that.
a foster mother here in the Bronx who had 17 kids in a
Yeah.
two-bedroom apartment. And the agency knew about it because they don't want to spend the money. And yet they're going to about to tell you, you can't have, you can't do with your body what but oh, are you willing to pay for, it's disgusting. It really, really is. And this is not fake news. I worked this case. So a lot of people don't know what Miss Taro G's job is or history. I know some of it that she shared with me. And believe me, if she says this is not fake news, it is not fake. And I just really applaud you, Miss Taro D, with what, you've done for the kids. It's amazing.
Oh, I love
So
you even
talk
more,
about
Miss Tarot D.
inspiration. Here's inspiration right here.
Yeah,
She's inspiration.
that's
The
right.
things that Carla shares with us is inspiring. Things that
Rochelle.
yeah, Karen, and what Karen
Mm-hmm.
has been through recently with some things in her personal life. She's inspiring. I mean, a mother of twins and a boy, and she's learning astrology. She's raising the kids. I mean, she's running a YouTube channel. These are people who I
They're
find
trailblazers.
extremely trailblazers. I
Mm-hmm.
like that. So, wow. Sometimes you never know where our conversations are
I
going to
know.
go. So did you want, well, first of all, let me just share really quick and then I'll open it up for you to share about Atira. This is
Sure.
beautiful, everybody. I love what Celina's going to share. So I went to go open my Goddess Book of Days, well, Goddess Days, and I found that I still had my page set for Shakina when we had Althea with Nancy and I a couple of weeks ago. And I went to go turn the page, and this name caught my attention, and I just started reading, and I was like, "Oh wow, I have to share this." I felt like she wanted to be shared today. Her name. Now I'm going to hope I'm pronouncing this properly. She is Native American. She's local Iroquois. Her name is Nekoa or Nekwa, and it's about celebrate even the smallest gain and you'll foster integrity and confidence. So the Iroquois call the south wind goddess Nekwa or Fawn. She presides over decisiveness, directions, and strength of character. She walks with the sun. She is kind and gentle, like the early light of dawn. Activity and motion without direction are ineffective. Conscious decision making is empowering. And we were just saying goddess energy is empowering.
Mm-hmm.
A routine task done with the mindful intent of fostering self care brings a whole new level of meaning. You may not be able to make big leaps right away, but with the little steps, build on each other. Powerful. Wait a minute. How did she write this here? Let me start that over again. You may not be able to make big leaps right away, but the little steps build on each other. Powerful possibilities are all yours. Buying a comfortable pair of shoes that better fits your shaman, priestess, wise woman lifestyle can take on the quality of a ceremony. Doing what counts does not come from logic and reason alone. It involves a spiritual spark, an inner commitment. There is no way to make everyone happy, so stop trying. Insight precipitates change, but is not itself change. Change requires determination and different behavior. Stay faithful to your spiritual path. Write out reminders for yourself and post them everywhere. Oh, excuse me. Place one on the ceiling above your bed to affirm your resolve. The choice is yours. Simply and powerfully. Meditation is essential. Stop for a moment and give thanks for something special in your life. All of you. What is valuable sometimes comes at a slow and steady pace. Not much can occur without confidence.
Hmm.
And the affirmation for Nakoa is every day my journey begins with new perspective and power.
Wow.
Mote it be. So that's what I have. What, you want to come up and say hi? All yours, Celina.
You got to say hi to Mozzie first.
Oh,
Hi.
yeah. No, don't start. Don't get your
Hello.
claws out of the tablecloth. Here we go. There we
Hi.
go.
Oh
Dear
my gosh, so
Demas.
handsome.
Dear Demas.
Oh
All
my
righty. Bye,
gosh.
Shelby. Enjoy dinner. All righty. Oh, people were sharing what went in. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Where did you go?
Yeah, his green eyes are beautiful.
Okay, I just lost my video.
Uh-oh.
This cat. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, don't look. We don't want it to get to your head now, do we? His little fan club. I told me we're going to start a channel for him, and I'll
You
just sit here
should.
with him on my lap. Oh, thank you, Moira. I try. It doesn't come from ego. If anyone ever says anything otherwise, it's
Yeah.
not. It's just me trying to help others, commune with others, converse with others, and connect with others. It has nothing to do with anything with ego. And I gotta say, the show I did with Rain this past Saturday was pretty awesome. It was love reads. We all we did one love read and had the best insights and talk on love that we only had time to do one reading. And that's beautiful, Karen.
And she was on Bill's channel too.
Mm-hmm. All righty. So there we go. Oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh. Look at your crush is here. Your crush is
Oh,
here. There we go.
did
Hi
that
to
face.
Auntie Hannah.
Oh my gosh, that face.
Okay. All yours, my dear.
So cute. So I'm gonna read off a couple things from You Are a Goddess book. I was reading, here I go with the now too. I was reading this last night and there was some things in here that really stood out to me, particularly about Mother Mary that had me kind of in tears, which is what she
Mm-hmm.
is known to help you with. So her themes of the themes of Mother Mary are unconditional love and forgiveness, connecting to our feeling, healing through releasing tears, compassionate witnessing, and nurturing and healing the inner child. So it had there's different prompts in here on connecting to our feelings and releasing your tears. And here there's a uh, little paragraph here written on Mother Mary knows that you carry unshed tears in your heart. She knows that
Mm.
holding these tears in over many years has created a heavy burden that you can no longer carry. With her tenderness and motherly wisdom, she arrives to tell you that it is finally time to remember how to let it go. And there's a meditation in here on how to release your tears, like releasing and getting into your inner self and wrapping and cloaking yourself in this vibrant blue energy and blue light. But she's known as the emotional healer. Um, there's different goddesses in here. Like there's let me go through the goddesses in here. If anybody wants to get this book, I really love it. There's the Temple of Kali, the Temple of Mother Mary, the Temple of Kuan Yin. So that's under healing and clearing. Under awakening and initiating is the Temple of the Avalon Priestesses,
Ooh.
Temple of Hecate, Temple of Aphrodite. And then under transforming, they have the Temple of Lilith, the Temple of Mary Magdalene, and the Temple of Isis. So it gives a bunch of different
Mm.
meditations, invitations, initiations, I guess, to help you
And
connect
what's
with
the name
them.
of the
And
book? She would like to
it is
know,
cause
Carolina.
it is cause you are a goddess.
I love the artwork.
Hmm.
I love
And
how
it's
she's holding
such
that
a
funk.
and it's such a wonderful, wonderful book. I'm already on page 107. I kind of skipped a little bit forward to look under what Hecate had, because I am a devotee. And here it has processing and healing past life, feminine soul trauma, which is, they said specifically to witch hunts of European Middle Ages, healing the throat chakra, liminal space, or the transition between the old and the new, and then embracing mature womanhood. So all of these qualities, um, which I didn't even know I was connecting with her years ago, was to help me with this, with past life, witch trauma, throat chakra. I have a huge issue with my throat chakra
Mm-hmm.
and the liminal space and then the womanhood. So there's just so many. I find this book to be extremely helpful and I think perfect for me now in the time that I'm in right now. So if
Really quick,
anybody,
the Avalon section, because I know that I had a past life
sure,
in Avalon, and do they, what is it? Do they focus on like Morgan Le Fay or just the priestesses in general? Do they
let
mention,
me
because there's so
pull that
many
up in here.
different
Hmm.
goddess writers and practitioners in and around Glastonbury that say, no, this is the way
Here
to
it is.
Avalon.
It
This is
did
how
mention the High Mound of Glastonbury on here, the tour in
the
Somerset.
tour. Mm-hmm.
So it says, who are the priestess of Avalon? It's these ethereal sisters dwell in the Isle of Avalon, a
Hey,
place
Charlie.
steeped in the British and Breton legends of King Arthur, Morgan Le Fay, and Merlin. So it is said that Arthur was taken to Avalon to recover from the Battle of Camwin, and that is where his sword, the Excalibur, was forged. So it does mention the sacred isle, and it's threaded through Celtic and Druid tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So for them, it's awakening intuitive and psychic gifts, meditation and silence, channeling divine healing energy,
Mm-hmm.
healing trauma from past life persecution as well, and then activating spiritual archetypes of priestess, wise women, and healers.
Nice.
So it's such a, and it gives you
Because
like for
even
them,
Morgan Le Fay has been vilified. You know, when they
mm-hmm,
took over, and you had the male authors, and then you had the male monks coming in and rewriting. It became that Morgan Le Fay or Morgaine was this evil sorceress who was out to destroy, and she's
mm-hmm,
been. I'm just like, oh, please, And there's been
yeah,
so many sisterhood societies connected to Glastonbury that teach and show the way of Avalon, and a lot of it just doesn't resonate with me because I just think some of it is more neo in practice, more neo pagan in practice.
mm-hmm,
Um, because I don't necessarily think back then that they necessarily knew what the word maybe priestess. I mean, for all I know, this is just me. But when if it's that ancient, they may have had a different perspective of how what they did, and it may not have. To me, a lot of again the societies, not to knock the women or the authors who create them, who participate in them, but for me, it doesn't resonate to quite the lifetime that I had there. And there may have been, different generationals where some of the things that these authors are writing about may have occurred at a later time. But for me, it just felt like there was something a little different. And I always felt like that there was some sort of temple hidden within the tour, itself, because they built that Catholic monastery or Catholic church on top of the tour, which there was, I believe, an earthquake, what it was, that took it all down except for the tower. And I found that very interesting that the tower was left standing. And
hmm.
then within the last, I think it was last 6 to 7 years, maybe a little more, that they mentioned using LIDAR. They think that they might have found a temple, some sort of circular temple or some sort of temple within the mountain. And I had
Ooh.
always felt like there was something already there, to begin with.
Well, that's like
So
them
yeah.
talking about the pyramids in
Hmm.
Giza, how they're obelisk.
Yeah,
Technically,
they,
they're
they they
very
weren't.
long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't. Tombs. They were like
Mm-hmm.
energy generators. They were
Correct.
able to connect and draw energy. I mean, Tesla knew. Tesla was by far. Oh my God, that's another
Super
whole can of
advanced. I
worms.
know. I know.
But yeah.
But here for Aphrodite and her
Ooh,
themes, and that's really interesting because I didn't really associate Aphrodite like this.
love that.
The
Um,
all about self-love. Thanks, Heather, or thanks, Rochelle.
Rochelle.
So for Aphrodite, it has healthy balance and relationships for healers, holding up the divine mirror to relationships, so mirroring your partner, and then acknowledging the divine masculine essence and celebrating beauty and sensuality. So I did not even I didn't put Aphrodite in with the divine masculine essence and holding up a mirror to your relationship. So like mirroring your partner.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of great information in this book that I would have not even thought about. Like why Mother Mary is there to help you with healing and with your emotions and your tears. You know, it's just
Hmm. And
it's so incredible.
I love that they focus on her in that book because I know a lot of women like focusing on Mary Magdalene because
Hmm.
she was the sexual aspect. You know, she, you know, with connecting with Jesus. And yes, I believe they were married, they had children. Um, but because they feel like she was some I'm not going to, okay. Heather, it's been my experience in circles that I have been and things that I have seen online and stuff. And again,
Yeah.
my experience, in my opinion, that a lot of female practitioners, especially in goddess energy or circles, pagan circles, tend to na- na- navigate more to Mary Magdalene because of that aspect where Mother Mary has always been seen as the chaste, the meek, the
Hmm.
humble, the mercy. They to
Well,
them,
it's how the church put her as.
and she
Um,
is so much more than that.
yeah,
Who goes across country, I mean
right.
continents, fully pregnant with her husband, knowing that any minute they could be stopped. And you know what I mean? There is
Hmm.
just, there's so much more, you know, written. And I even found out recently that part of the trip that they took into Egypt, they actually stayed at a temple dedicated to Bast. So in the story, it was supposedly that, you know, the people turned them away, but somebody ended up having her come and stay. I'm not quite sure, but to even just mention that she was brought in through Egypt and stopped at one of the priestess temples,
Hmm.
especially to be given, you know, and I think it was that there wasn't room or they weren't welcomed into the temple, but one of the priestesses or somebody that worked near and around the temple had them come to, I think, I don't know if this is where we're going into the stable mythology aspect of it or what, but this is where, you know, some of the connections with this story. So I find that very interesting.
Hmm.
But of all places, though, near and or in a goddess
Egypt.
temple in Egypt. So, and a lot of people feel, some people feel that Isis was reincarnated as Mary, and that
Oh,
certain goddesses that have that um same, I don't want to say feel or that same
energy.
energy, or because they reincarnated different periods in ancient history to continue on that legacy. So I thought that was very
Hmm.
interesting.
That is very interesting.
um let's see, let me just back up. So Mara says some chant some chant both are sacred.
Thank you.
um it doesn't help how everything comes in from all directions too sometimes. Yeah, you know, we get bombarded. We kind of got to put the feelers out there. And I just love, we got to have Karen on, just have this a
Hmm.
conversation. This is beautiful. I'm talking and hearing messages in my mind's
She had
eye
like
at
a
the same
huge
time.
divine feminine message with a bunch of women, like on like our like
Mm-hmm.
bring Rochelle on and Carla and
Oh my God, that would be
I
awesome
think you
before
can
I
do
go on
like
my
10
trip.
people. Yeah, I think you can do 10 people on
Well, if you
StreamYard,
pay
right?
for it, if you pay for it.
Oh, okay.
So for me, I would be allowed, I think, either 5 or 6. Gerald, if you're still in chat, do you know what the free version is? I think it's 6. I haven't done a panel in a while, but That would be something cool if I can get a group of us
Hmm.
ladies together before I leave
And
when
do
I
like a
still
whole
have
divine
internet.
feminine
Hmm.
conversation on here, and everyone bring in your favorite divine feminine aspect or who you're working with particularly and why.
Exactly. And this here, I think that
Yeah,
Isis and Mary are the same archetype, and Horus and Jesus are the same
yeah.
archetype. And if you believe that they actually walked the earth like I do with Mary and with Jesus, that could very well have been them reincarnated as
Hmm.
well from a physical. So it's that continuing. And I think we've had conversations started last Friday when Allison and I and you and I were starting to have
Hmm.
ideas about reincarnation. So that
Yes.
would be a cool one. Yes. So much
And
to
past
do. So,
lives. I mean,
and
all of
she
that.
was,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
And hello, eternal light. Welcome,
hello.
welcome. And let's see, 6. Okay, thank you, Rochelle.
Okay.
For a while, I had the paid one where I could, didn't have to worry about time or anything, but we'll all pitch in. And Janet says, compassion and empathy, connection and nurture nature is what drew me to Kuan Yin,
Yeah.
Wild Oracle by. I know that art. Now she did
But
one.
Kuan Yin has a lot of similarity as well to Mother Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, she's the
her,
Mother Mary of the East. She's
correct.
known as.
Yeah.
Yep. And I liked that deck, but someone gifted me the Isis one by Alana
Hmm.
Fairchild, and for me, it felt too cartoony. It was too. I mean, I loved the colors and everything, but when you compared it to the type of artwork that Kuan Yin's deck had, it didn't resonate
I
for
have
me.
a
But
little
I was,
statue of Kuan Yin that sits on my altar for, and it's right next to
oh,
Mother Mary. Yeah.
beautiful.
Hmm.
And Al says it's also ancient and passed down stories. Quite literally, any truth of identity is possible.
Hmm.
Yep. And Rochelle said, absolutely, Heather. And oh, what's this? Karen says, I would be happy to host it on mine for 10 spots.
Ooh.
Ooh. Karen will be
Sleepover
in
at
touch.
Karen's. Sleepover at Karen's.
Yeah. So, did you want to share a Tira?
Yes.
And then we can open the
So
floor for readings. Go
yeah,
ahead.
so Heather and I were looking for goddesses on inspiration, and as I was looking through
That's gorgeous.
my goddess stories book, and it's by Allison Davis, but it's illustrated by Katya Paris, who also does this oracle deck.
Which Nancy
Um,
has in gorgeous.
mhm. So this book is a lot bigger and has a lot more information on these goddesses. So here's Atira.
Oh, I love those
I know,
colors.
isn't that she pretty?
Mm-hmm.
She she illustrates these goddesses so beautifully. So Atira, she's a Native American earth goddess or the corn mother, and her themes are abundance, creativity, new growth, and inspiration. So it has a huge story on her and how she came to be. She has different affirmations and goddess rituals. So her affirmation is, with every step I take, I am connected to earth energy. So, a goddess ritual that she has on here for you is working with the earth and the concepts of growth. So, as when you're planting a seed, um, putting your energy into the seed, putting your energy into the water as you're growing it, and then when you continue to water it, you say, "I nurture abundance and new growth." Every time you do that to to give thanks to earth abundance and life-giving energy, but um, Om or but
Mm,
she does have a lot of inspiration and creativity in her, and she helps you nurture that and nourish that. So
I love that.
yeah,
Atira.
there's a bunch of wonderful goddesses in here and different rituals for each goddess,
Atira
which
sounds very Middle Eastern, though. I'm surprised. Did they say what, again, what
we like
a
tribe
nation she
or
was? What nation? You said Iroquois, right? She was Corn
no, I
Mother,
didn't.
or
It
it
says
didn't?
corn mother, but it says of many Native American and First Nations
Okay.
mythologies.
All righty.
So I think she can be for all of them, maybe, perhaps.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't, doesn't say specifically. Doesn't say specifically. But it's beautiful. I mean, Spider
And
Grandmother for psychic
yes,
powers, visions, and reassurance and insight. And she gives you a ritual for your visions. Um,
and
it's
Rochelle
just,
recommended the Sophia Code book as well.
oh, for the DNA activations.
I know Nancy has something called the Rose Codes, but I don't know. And this is a different book she has. There are so many
Oh,
books. I wish I could.
I
I
know.
would love to get and read, but with my brain scattered all over the place, I can't even focus on, you know,
I know
a
I have too many
basic.
books that I haven't even read yet and are just sitting there to be read. And it's pretty bad. I probably have, I don't know, maybe 20 books.
And I had to give away donate most of my books too, because of what we can fit into the car. So I had to really like. I'm like, well, I could always rebuy this book. Here, go to a new home. So I had to do a lot of that. But
Yeah, because you
the
can only
Ohm.
take so much with you. Yeah, you can only take so
Yep.
much with you.
And I have two large art books. One by Erin Hansen. She's an incredibly young artist. Everybody can go check her out. Her artwork is just stunning. And my other big one I have is my George O'Keeffe. Excuse me,
Hmm.
my George O'Keeffe book that I am not leaving behind. Nope, nope, not giving that away. Nope, nope, nope. Um, Ohm. I keep want to say Ohm.
Now I'm going to say
So,
Om.
so what is your number one goddess deck recommendation?
Ooh, this is mine, the Goddess Oracle deck. That's my favorite one.
Right now, I have two decks. I
And it's
do
this one.
like. Oh, yes, I love the
Hmm.
artwork. Nancy show that brought that to me.
Yep.
Show that. I um. You're gonna get all gigs every
We're
time
just
I go
bound
to
to say
say
it. Just say it. Yeah.
um. There is the goddesses of the world, which was very cool that I got. Nancy has it too. There are so many goddesses that you don't know of. I kind of wish they would have included the traditional ones, but they included a lot that you would never have learned of. Now I can't pull that out and show it because it's packed, but it's the one that I've been using previously.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's AI generated or if what, but it's just a study deck, and I hope they make an expansion pack to go with that so they can include the other goddesses that they left out,
Okay.
traditional ones. But there are a lot of ones that you've never heard of, from Inuit to Siberian, a lot of different African goddesses, um, Middle Eastern, like Thracian and Iranian. And I was just like, wow. I mean, there are really so many. And Karen says, I am such a book
Me too,
nerd.
girl. Me too.
So I do have the one that Jenna Del Gratalia did with Colette Baron Reed. I do enjoy the artwork on that deck. I've heard some people say, well, she used other people's pictures from, online, but you know what? Those images are supposed to be used. They're royalty free, so you can use them, and she
Hmm.
enhanced them. So there are some that she did. Now, compared to Colette's deck, compared to the goddesses of the world, the goddesses of the world will that artwork tends to like to emphasize, the bodies. They like to, emphasize almost kind of like the big boobs and the little, I mean, they have
And
full
the
figure
huge
as well,
hips, like the.
but it's a lot of some of them are just kind of more focused on the some, you know what I mean, on some of
Hmm.
them. Whereas with Colette's deck, and if that's your thing, that's okay. I'm
More
not
like
saying that.
sexualized, I feel.
Some are in some, yeah. There's a balance, but with at least with the Colette's deck, what Jenna's did, it was more focused on their energy. The beauty of the face, the beauty of their energy. Um, it to me, it's nice to have both, but I would still like a deck where, with the goddesses, even though they are a little, emphasized, they did do a beautiful job in other ones where you never even, and they made them, if the goddesses were full figure, that artist made sure that they were presented that
Hmm.
way. I just would like to see more of the traditional that got left out. Like Holly's not even in that deck. Pele, Bridget, and I think Carradine are like the mainstream. They left out Rhiannon, they left out Boonleaf,
Wow.
and yet they included Ane, which is also Celtic, but you don't hear as much about her like you do Rhiannon. So it was kind of, give or take, but um oh, Shelby says happy belated birthday, Allison. Oh, Karen did too. Yep. My girl,
Oh,
yep, last Friday, my girl turned, oh, I won't say. Never tell a woman's age unless she tells you herself, right?
yeah.
And let's see. Shelby says, I got a book from this used bookstore I went to this weekend. It's called Star Women, and I can't wait to read it. Ooh.
Nice.
I want to see the homely goddesses. Where are they? Not everyone is gorge. Yeah. And yes, I'm pretty curvy even when I was super skinny, but I know what you mean. Yeah, there's kind of a, oh, she goes, well, girl, that's your business, not mine. You 55. But when I see
Well,
that now, all I can think of is, I can't drive 55. Sorry. The music had to come out
I
sometime,
know.
right?
Yeah,
Rhiannon almost did. I will start belting out
I
CB.
know. That's a good song.
So I think we are all caught up, and we are going to open the floor if anybody would like a divine feminine reading.
Yeah.
Just put me in all caps. And what was great too is when um, Celina was telling me about Akira mentioning the seeds. I'm
Hmm.
sitting here going, oh my goodness, because for the divine feminine today, I have my seeds
Yeah.
from the sacred feminine out. So
Yeah. It was
I
perfect.
was
It's
like,
like she was
wow.
saying, you need to read me out loud.
So I have that deck along with my Theodore. And for those who dropped by earlier, thank you again for joining Jackie and I. We are excited to start. We're looking at the first week of, actually, we did set a date and a time. So Jackie and I will be doing our first court card tarot tutorial,
Hmm.
or as we're calling it, holding courts. We are going to do, I can't believe we're going into April 1st at
That's
2
crazy.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which
Hmm.
will be 7 p.m. Ireland time. So there we go. Boo. And speaking of that, I get to use some of my beautiful tiles.
Oh, nice.
Woo. Okay, so let me get caught up here. I'm starring everybody that I see. Do 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 do. I'm going to go a little bit
I'll be right
out.
back. I'm gonna grab
Yeah.
another deck as well.
Okay. I'm going to be going out of order here just a little bit because we have so many newbies. So we're at 6:40. I could probably go for another half hour or so. Um, or no, what? I'm just going to go down the line. Let's just play it cool. Allison is a hot tamale. I mean that in the most utmost respects. Oh goodness, Karen, you crack me up. So, well, we'll just go down the line. And Moira. Every time I see Moira, your name, I think of Schitt's Creek. Jackie's been trying to get me to
Oh, I
watch
love
it.
I you it's
I,
so
I, I'm
funny.
I'm having a hard time. Certain episodes, I'm like, this is weird, but at the same time, they start to kind of grow on you.
It's so good. And I've like after it's all been released, I've binge watched the whole series, like the
That's what I'm
whole
starting to do a little bit here, a little
seven
bit
seasons,
there.
I think it is. It's so good. I mean, I want to get the Schitt's Creek tarot deck, and I
Yeah.
haven't bought it yet. So, but it's on my list.
Oh, and Shelby said she's beautiful no matter what her age and what she looks. Oh,
Hmm.
that's so sweet, Shelby. Alrighty. Ooh, get some tiles. This for Moira. Allison, you got 3 decks for your birthday from him? I thought it was just the one. Oh my God. Oh, girl, you're going to have to bring them to Friday night. We got to see them. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, well, Celina's still shuffling. Moira, let me just take your name down for a second. So, your seeds from the Sacred Feminine card is follow the cycles. And I love that this looks like water. So, going with the flow, whatever cycle of life that you're in right now, just instead of fighting the current, go with the current. These beautiful ladies, I love that they're holding feathers. So this could be considered an air current. You know, when things get too heavy or too stagnant, if you can't be in water, just think of going outside. Here it was really windy, so you could go out on a day when there's wind or even there's a nice breeze and allow that breeze to move through you. And let that just carry you along. And the feathers are beautiful because you can put prayers and or spell work or chants or intentions or whatever you would like to call them, and put those on the feathers, and as the wind blows, it carries them, along the air currents as well. And cycles too, paying attention to um, the moon cycles, how you feel. Next week on the 29th, we're coming up to a new moon, and I love new moons. So, paying attention to those cycles. And again, paying attention to even the physical cycles, whether, um, and I'm not getting personal, but whatever, I don't know if if you're still menstruating or if you are moving into a different cycle where you no longer are. For us women, our cycles, our menstrual cycles also play a strong role in how we manage our emotions and handle the current, things currently going on in our lives, and the currents, things that are current in the world. So just really learning how to just follow the cycle, follow what brings you peace, and let that carry you along. And your overall energy on your tarot is, I got the Lover's card. So again, finding balance, being connected with yourself, with people in your life, whether it's intimate partner, relationships with friends, family, and also with yourself. And the tile that came along that I pulled for you for this one is the Page of Pentacles, which is interesting because next week that's going to be our first court card is going to be the Page of Pentacles for Jackie and I. And the page is again the studious, the student, looking at things at different angles, studying maybe academics, studying how can I financially be secure, how can I feel just physically secure where I'm at, and just being open minded and open to new possibilities with that. And the top card, your current energy, is the Fool. And this is my favorite Fool card of any tarot deck that I have. I love that she's got Mamazi there with her. So this is, to me, is kind of like my card because I used to have short hair like this. So this is kind of cute. So for me, I love this Fool. She's taking off her mask. She is ready to um, dance along that edge. She's ready to take that leap of faith. Everything that she has, that she needs, is right there over her shoulder. And the card that goes, the tile that goes with this is beautiful, Moira. I got the star. And so the Fool, having faith, taking that leap of faith, with the star, following those dreams, following those goals. And again, I too, in the traditional, I love how she's looking in the water. And so that has to do with reflection as well, like with the Lover's card. So kind of scrying, maybe you feel like you might want to try something new with scrying or sitting with water. And just really being tapped into those emotions and any dreams or goals that you have. Remember to put that positive energy, those emotions into those images and those visualizations to make it happen. And that's what I have for you, Moira. I'll give you over to Celina.
Hello, Moira. So I pulled a goddess card for you, as well as a couple other oracle cards. So let me show you the goddess card. and I have the goddess Idun for you, and she's a Norse goddess of the spring, so rejuvenation, youthfulness, fertility, and growth. She is known as a rejuvenator. Is She's a youthful goddess and the keeper of the apples of immortality. As soon as other gods began to show any signs of aging, they would call upon Idun, and she'd give them an apple, which, once consumed, would transform them into visions of youthfulness, allowing the deities to blossom for eternity. So, the ritual she has on here for you is identify a simple activity that brings you joy. For example, enjoying one of your favorite treats. Take a moment to fully engage with and savor this activity. So I actually pulled her while I was on vacation, and she motivated me to pull out watercolors and to start watercoloring as I was drinking a bottle of wine. That was my treat because I haven't had wine in such a long time. So um,
I
for
love that.
me, I know.
Watercolors.
So I had pulled her out, and it was my last day on our trip when we were in Florida and or in Georgia, and I was like, "You know what? Let me pull out my watercolor set." So she encouraged me to be more creative. She encouraged me to drink that bottle of wine, which I've not had in forever. So you relate to that, I definitely say go ahead and go for it because um, it was really what my soul needed at that moment. So that's her. And I also pulled got the Rooted Woman Oracle deck, which I
Ooh,
love this deck. It reminds me of my time in Scotland, which to me was a very
Scotland.
spiritual, grounding.
It's beautiful.
I felt like I was floating in time when I was there, just floating in space. It was such a different feeling, and to me, it felt like home. Um, so it pulled out another woman for you, and that's Ellen, the path maker and guide. So she is a princess of the Britain, and she appears in the Roman emperor dream in his vision. So to have her, her story is to tell you that um, even though men built roads, she was still native to the land and land representative. Ellen, like so many other female characters in Celtic myth and story, is a representative of sovereignty and the goddess of the land. So as you can see, she has um, that staff in her hand that's a hat, a crescent moon, and her tiara, her crown, her robe that's glowing. That, I mean, she's definitely the epitome of a goddess of that land in Celtic mythology. So definitely, if you want to look her up and see what she has, what history has to say about her, I definitely encourage you to do some reading on her.
Ellen of the
And
Trod. Mm-hmm.
mhm. And the next one is also from the goddess from this Rooted Woman Oracle deck, is the sacred marriage. So it's again another Celtic tradition, um, and I'm trying to the qualities you might think of as feminine include an awareness of the gift of embodiment, as well as intuitive, emotional, and empathic ways of being in this world. So, definitely harmonizing these different energies within ourselves is a prerequisite for the work of restoring balance in our outer world. So, just like she pulled up her card, I think it's the lovers, it's the Celtic part of the lovers card. So, I find these to be
I thought that
very
was cool.
beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Oh,
I love
beautiful
this
read.
deck. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
this deck.
And I saw that. I was like, oh my God, it's the lover's card. Although I
Hmm.
will say this lovers, the lover's card and the Theodore is taking me a bit to get used to. Um, the the artwork is just, stunning. Be right, boy. The
Hmm.
boys need to go out. Oh, the puppy dogs.
Oh, hello,
Yes.
baby boys. I mean, they're not babies, but they're so cute.
And I love how one of them's a little pitty mix I saw in the picture. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, look at you. You're so cute. Oh, I love pity so much because they get such a bad rap. They
They
really
do.
do.
That's my Darla. She's a pity mix and she gets the bad rap.
And Rochelle says she is very much associated with ley lines. We had
Hmm.
uh oh, why can I think of her first name? Bowles. Oh, Diana. Duh. Diana Bowles had joined Nancy and I last year. And her main goddess that she taught us about and that she's very connected to is Ellen of the Trod or Ellen of the Ways. And up there in like the Finland and Siberian area, the reindeer are female. They have horns as well. And it was when you're talking about the pathways and the trailways and with the ley lines, back then, that's how a lot of the people knew where to be able to go, to set up, to be able to find food, sustenance. They followed the deer took them, they trusted
Wow.
them. And it was through her that they were able to lead the people, to make their village where, they could hunt. And the animals, every part of the animal was used,
Hmm.
nothing was wasted. And see, there, Allen of the Ways. Oh my
Yeah,
God, it's beautiful.
with the horns.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in
Oh,
this
I
oracle deck too.
love that deck.
Hmm.
I can't wait to get it.
I can't wait for you to get it.
Mm-hmm. And when you just said Celtic and lovers, I heard not,
Hmm.
obviously. Oh, not man. Oh, okay, not
The
magic. Yeah, I think that's what you mean.
or the Celtic knot.
Oh, the Celtic knot.
Even like hand
Yes.
fasting is another like knot that you
Mm-hmm.
can do with that.
Beautiful. And let's see. Maura was saying, "Thank you, Celina," and she totally, totally relates. Perfect. We love to hear that.
Hmm.
All righty. Oh, one more from Karen. "I'm fascinated by ley lines. I believe there are ones around me, and especially in Charleston, South Carolina. Study that there
So,
probably are. The ones in Sedona, actually, I believe, if I remember correctly, connect around and also connect with Stonehenge. They're on the same ley line
hmm
as Stonehenge and Glastonbury, which is
so I
probably
was in
why."
Charleston in November with my best friend, and we went to the cemeteries there. We went to where Edgar Allan Poe, his bow, where she was buried at. And let me tell you, I have images. I took pictures. I have images on my phone that there is.
Like an orb or something.
I have
Girl, you
lots
got
of
to share
orbs on
that.
pictures. Yeah, I have lots of orbs. It was such a wow, that trip, that going to the
Maybe you could
dungeon,
join Allison and I this Friday and we can see some orbs or something
going
and
into the
talk about that.
dungeon that was there is
Oh, how sad.
Charleston
Yeah.
is such a great it was such a good it's such a great trip. But definitely going to cemeteries and ghost hunting was I loved it.
She just got the chills. I would like
Yeah,
to be able to do that as well.
yeah.
Not to hunt, but to investigate. For me, when people say, "Well, we're going to go ghost hunting, we're going to
Well,
hunt them down."
we didn't
Yeah, but
hunt,
I'm just
but it
saying
was the
they're like
fact that they were,
emphasizing
yeah,
that. I'm like,
yeah.
what? But
We just did cemetery tours, but when we did I mean, I did a lot of cemetery tours.
the
Oh,
BFF was there. Yep. You were at Poe's. You got. I knew you were going to get
I
her attention
was.
when you said Poe because she loves Poe.
Yep. I love Edgar Allan Poe.
That's so.
I do. I love Edgar Allan Poe. Even on my on the
Your
haunt
new
trip,
best friend now.
I had an Edgar Allan Poe and shirt on, and the guide was like, "Ooh, that's where we're gonna go," because we went to Buxton Books, and the Buxton
And
Books
she loves cemeteries.
is who
Yep.
took us on the tours. But on our last day, the day before we left, I was going to all these cemeteries. I have so many cemetery pictures on my phone. It's kind of creepy, but
Oh
I love
wow.
it. Yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool.
I love
Yeah,
it.
you'll have to let me know if you're free Friday night because I know this is going to be like, ooh, let's see the pictures. Let's talk about the trip. So,
Yeah, it
we'll
was such a good
talk.
trip. Yeah,
Yeah.
such a good trip.
So up next we have Aquarius Tarot, who is Carolina or Carol.
Hmm.
How do you pronounce it? Carolina or Carolina? I don't know how she prefers it.
I say it in Spanish. I say Carolina,
Carolina
Carolina,
or
but
Carolina. I'm trying to roll my R.
yeah.
Alrighty. Ooh.
Oh, when it rains, it pours. Karen just
Yeah.
has to. I
I'm
love
just a
that.
pole boy from a pole family. Like that one
Yeah, I
too.
love Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, that's right, Celina. So there we go. Okay, I'll have to practice that. Carolina. Yeah,
Carolina.
Carolina.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, I love my tiles. Oh, I
I
better
love
mute
the way
myself.
they
It's going to be
sound.
noisy. Oh, I was going to say, do you want me to mute in case that's too loud?
No, it's really good
Carolina.
ASMR, I guess.
I've noticed that what's ASMR for some people is not ASMR for Heather. All righty, I got two.
Okay.
Hmm, interesting. Okay. So, Carolina, I'll practice. I'll be able to figure out how to do that tongue roll. What I have for you, okay, let's start with honoring your body. That is your seeds from the sacred feminine. Honoring your body. And this, is having, and this is on all levels, your mental health, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual, it's all connected. And I love the fact that she's out there standing on the earth. So now that spring is on its way, temperatures, they keep fluctuating a little bit here and there. The more that the weather's nicer, getting outside into nature, barefoot if you can, if not just being able to walk in nature, looking at how beautiful, like the little green grasses that I'm seeing around here are starting to sprout through. And this is about getting out into nature, honoring your body, getting grounded, getting rooted, um, giving that energy that what no longer serves you, give that to Mother Earth. Let her transmute that and create reach and transmute that into something beautiful. That energy that's our pain, our sadness. Um, if we're not feeling well, we can give all that energy to her, and she shows how she can take it and transform it into something beautiful, like a flower or green grasses, or even the beautiful wind. It looks like she's got a little pinwheel here again, and with the swirls, but honoring your body too, making sure that you're taking good care of it, trying to eat as well as you can, making sure plenty of water, meditating, getting enough rest. There's so many ways of honoring our bodies. And sometimes our bodies, if they're fighting us, or whether it's through age, or if we have an illness, or something we feel is kind of holding us back, just to still continue loving your body, embracing it, and acknowledging what it's teaching you, what lessons that it has, and let those lessons and um, those teachings show you how strong and resilient you are. Um, Bye, Carla. Thank you for popping by, sweetheart. So we're starting right off with honoring your body, taking good care of yourself, self pampering, self care, self esteem, all the selves. And before I get to the tarot cards, I pulled three tiles, and so right now it feels like we're in a bit of a bind here. I got the devil, and the devil can be about things that hold us bondage, even though we can easily let go of those. And that shows with the other tile that I got for you, which is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is basically that self sabotage, that self binding, that we're binding ourselves. We're binding things that we don't want to see, things that we feel like we can't control. We can move out of that. We have control. We can let go of the bonds. We can move through those swords, especially those any of those mental thoughts. Again, too, with the air, it feels like too getting outside with that fresh air, letting that wind blow through you. For me, that's a great way of clearing my head, clearing my thoughts, taking in that deep air, deep breaths, letting that revitalize you. And I also got the Five of Pentacles. And so it feels like there's something heavy that might be going around, that's connected to you right now, or that you're coming out of, um, with the devil. Not necessarily addiction to, a substance or something, but just that feeling of I have no control. I'm in prison. There's nothing I can do. I can't, I feeling like I don't have enough. I have there's scarcity, or even the feelings of isolation. And either this is feelings that are being brought to you from within, from life circumstances, or I don't know if this is necessarily stemming from an individual who you feel like was the devil, who might have, somebody might have start putting those thoughts into your head, making you feel like there's a sense of lack. But whatever it is, you have the power to walk through those swords. In your tarot, the overall energy, I feel is positive, moving you towards a good direction. I got the Seven of Pentacles. It's about plowing, planting those seeds, working on that security, that stability, having everything that you need. Sometimes it takes patience, but keep tilling that land, keep planting those seeds, and having faith that, this is going to come to fruition, that this is going to come to harvest. And the top card, Nine of Cups, celebration, happiness. I might, sometimes people see this as gluttony or ego, but for me, it just feels like seeds are being planted and you're working towards this energy of happiness, having more than enough, and kind of being open to welcoming people, at your table. So I hope that resonated, and I'm going to give you over to Celina. Thank you.
Hello, Carolina. So I pulled a goddess card for you, a couple oracle decks, and then I also pulled out a pocket oracle of the fairies for you. So it was very interesting how on the Rooted Woman Oracle, the messages that came out actually go hand in hand with what Heather said. So I'm going to go up and read off or the oracle card for the goddess deck. There we go. And that's Iris, Greek goddess of the rainbow. So she's known for communication, hope, joy, and service. And she's the goddess who carries information and helps between the heavenly and the earthy realms. So spreading light and love. So with the rainbow there and the goddess of light and love and communication, I think this is a beautiful card. Her ritual that is for Iris is walk at a comfortable pace with each step mentally affirm. Hope guides me and every step brightens my path. So it's a walking ritual about infusing each step with optimism, mirroring Iris's hopeful essence. So walking in hope, walking in faith, and reaffirming and telling yourself that um, you are on the right path. So that's her message to you from Iris. The two Rooted Woman Oracle cards that I pulled for you is Stone Circle, the Sacred Landscape. And it kind of goes back to honoring the cycles and seasons of your own bodies, which is what what Heather was just mentioning. The body is also a sacred site. So not just these sacred sites, but your body as well. It's sacred. Um, in what ways might you bring yourself into greater attunement with yours? Like, what do you have to do to bring yours into an alignment, bring yours into attunement? Um, your body is real. It's real essence, and it's your soulmate. So our journey through life depends on it. The body is literally the ground of our being. So this card invites you to consider that ground as sacred. So consider your body as sacred, and figure out what it is that you need to do to take care of yourself, um, internally, emotionally, spiritually. This can also be spiritually. As you can see what's going on in the skies up here, I see that as spiritually and what's coming out of the ground. The next card that was on here again is another one, and it's fertility and creativity. So this card reminds us that the energy and power of creativity as a woman and the nature of our fertility, which changes over the course of our lives. So our creativity and our energy, our feminine energy, will continue to go through this cycle. As you see them opening up, it's going to ever be evolving, as well as your creativity, as well as what you do with your new YouTube channel coming on here and starting your new creative process, so but it also talks about your fertility and your femininity in here, which is the second card on my side, and then what Heather had mentioned. So I'm not sure exactly how that's is pertaining to you, if you still, like Heather mentioned, you still have a cycle or not. But regardless, if you don't have one, I don't have one anymore and haven't had one for 20 some years. I still considered myself feminine. I still
Mhm.
considered my body to be sacred because, um, fuck, it is. You
There you
know,
go, because
it
it
sure
is.
is. It sure is.
There's a
Regardless
t-shirt
if
for you.
regardless if there's a uterus there or not, it still is. I
Hmm.
still am. And then
Yep.
the pocket oracle of the fairies, I pulled out magical gateway for you. So if you're unsure about working with fairies, I think this they want you to meditate on that and think about it and see if this is something you need to be working with. And I kind of have a feeling like where you and I have kind of had this conversation about fairies before, and that you are looking at working with them. So the fact that this card came out, it says it takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown. Yet this is where the greater reward is. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. So whatever it is that you are trying to get to, here it's telling you to take the unknown, be that fool in that card, and just start that journey, start taking it, open that door, open many doors, open the windows if you have to, um, and figure out what it is that you want to be creative about and what you want to work on.
She says, beautiful
Oh,
Celina. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. You're welcome, Carolina.
I love
But
when
I
we
feel
get
like we
similar cards
I know
with readers.
that's
It's very
yeah,
cool.
I did that with Bobby too the other day. We were getting
Hmm.
similar messages and cards and past life cards.
And Karen says, I believe it's about taking concrete steps to creating it. Yep.
Yeah.
Like that one card, like in the goddess in the beginning, baby steps. Put on those shamanic high
Mm-hmm.
priestess, you know, holy woman shoes, and take those baby steps. So
Yeah.
beautiful. Self determination. All righty. How are you doing? Are you good with time and energy?
Yeah, we can probably do one more, two more.
Okay, because I don't know if the Wild Witch is still here, but Shelby is next on the list. And let's see.
Oh,
Carolina
she
said
did. She is
bottles.
working with fairies.
Ooh,
I knew
there we
it, Carolina.
go.
I think we talked about that and the fact that
She's
that
still
card
here.
came up for you. Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay, so then we will do Shelby and the now the Wild Witch again is Star. Have to think of the Star card. All right. So Shelby is next, and then we will end with the Wild Witch. And again, everybody, thank you for joining. Again, Celina and I, and those watching on playback, we appreciate you so much.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, Shelby, that's Moon Fox Night. So, and I've got cards already for you, Shelby. So, your seeds from the sacred feminine is about being still. We need to get into a stillful place. And I love how she's got this little, to me, they feel like little antlers, like tuning forks in a way, kind of like trying to connect with, with her higher self, with her guides, and with the universe, and even Mother Nature. And I love the little dragonflies because the dragonflies, are about illusions. They're about, of course, moving in between dimensions and the dream time. But in one of my decks, early decks for animal totems, they were messengers of, you know, watching the illusions that we see in life, that we move through, being aware of them. Delusions, illusions, and making sure what we see, making sure that what we feel is what we're seeing. So that if we see something, but making sure energetically, if that makes sense, that, you know, using our intuition. Um, and with the be still, it's all about getting silent, whether through meditation, with music, or just really going out into nature, or just being, you know, I know it's kind of hard, especially if you live in like an apartment complex, or if you live with other people, how to have complete stillness, but just having times when you sit down and you're just still with yourself. And this can be done not having to close eyes and sit, with a clear head. You can be doing things like, anything that's artistic, or if you're or writing, journaling, and or if you just put soft music on and sit and connect and be still. When you do that, it feels like we can start addressing something to do with relationships. The lovers came out again. This is the top card. And my tile that came with it was again, the Eight of Swords. So right now it feels like there is some sort of self imposed um, mental block or bondage that you're putting on yourself, or this could be somebody putting on too, or when people talk to us, they gaslight us or they tell us things that, again, making sure, like with the dragonflies, what we are hearing is actually what we are as resonating within us, what we're feeling. Because some people, can talk a talk, but do they really? So again, just making sure that that self with the blindfold on, make, well, if I can't see anything, then I can't know if it's good or bad. It's kind of like hiding ourselves or keeping ourselves from the truth, releasing ourselves from that mental stagnation or fear. We're not quite into the Nine of Swords yet, but we're getting there. It being self-imposed, and this has to do with something with relationships, whether with ourselves or with others. Your overall energy is the Two of Wands, though. You are planning, you're setting goals, and you have, it's like, and there's the world right down there. You have the world at your feet. You're I don't say not the word scheming, but you are devising a plan. You're laying down plan work. You're devising an idea. It's all about strategic. It's There's something else I'm looking for, but it's all, let's just say it's all about planning. You're working on creating a plan. You've got all these different little paperwork. It's eh, yeah. It's like I keep going. It just keeps feeling like it keeps drawing me back. Like there's something else I can be saying. Um, He's relying on himself, or you are relying on yourself to create plans to set yourself for whatever this is. I feel like you know this, and then you are working maybe behind the scenes or knowing what needs to be done, and they're in your head, and you need to, with the wands, bring that. You need that motivation to bring them out and to start forming them, to bring them into the Three of Wands, where it's official, it's out there, and it's expanding. And the tile that went with that is the Emperor. And so I don't know if this is the Emperor energy that you may feel like you need to address with the Lover's card and feeling that mental bondage, or this could also represent you wanting to take over, be independent, take control, take reign over your life. This is where you make your decisions. This is where you plan, and this is how you are going to execute. And with those Two of Wands, that's what I have for you. I'm curious to see what Celina has on this, and I'll give you over to her.
Sounds good. So the first goddess card that I pulled out for you was Suna. So I see a lot of the Norse goddesses are coming out today, or the Celtic, any like those northern goddesses. So Suna is a joy, determination, positive energy, and self-esteem. So every day she is pursued by the dark wolf skull through though she almost always evades him. On the few days she doesn't, Suna loyal horses pull her free and we get on eclipses. She forces this daily battle to keep shining her golden light. So keep pushing through and finding that battle to shine your light, shine who you are. That is her message to you. Her ritual that she's um, encouraging for you to do is stand in a sunny spot or a bright lit area. Close your eyes and feel the warmth on your skin. Visualize this warmth as your inner radiance expanding outward. So, since we are getting into more sunny days, this is a lot easier to do. So, she's definitely recommending that you get out there and take in some of that sun's energy and radiate your own light. The the two rooted woman oracle cards I got. Here we go. You're going to have to start singing. is Rhiannon.
Ooh, ringing rings like a bell through the night. And
Yep.
won't you love to love? Oh. Yes, I love that song. Okay.
Yep.
I got
So
out of her system.
if you get a chance to listen to that song, I recommend you
Yes.
do that and pull it up and take in that energy as well. Take in Rhiannon's energy. But on here, her story emerges directly from our authentically lived experience. So during the course of a lifetime, each of us will encounter stories that are told about us and against us by others. And some of them will become so deeply interwoven into the fabric of our everyday lives that unpicking them can be hard. So even though there's going to be people out there saying stuff about you that is not true, is irrelevant to who you really are as a person, and they're only telling what they see, what aspect of you they perceive. Um, in Bobby's way, you can tell them to go F off. That's not who you are. That's not who you are. Follow your own light. Again, with this person, I mean, look at them. They're both on a journey. They're both have this
Beautiful.
sunlight, and she has the moon behind her. So definitely do your own thing, girl. Don't let anybody dim your own light, like in the first goddess card. And here we go with feminine energy again, reclaiming the feminine energy. So the
Woohoo.
feminine energy on here, embracing it does not necessarily mean only embrace the good stuff. It's also embrace the dark part of yourself, the dark energy of yourself. It's not necessarily negative. Um, it's definitely not negative. It's the yin and yang that your body, that you yourself need. It's the masculine and the feminine. Um, so definitely look at this energy and see if there's any of that stuff, maybe some of the chaotic energy that you think is there. Um, Definitely find a way to express it and uh, make it more creative for yourself. And then the final card was an oracle card for the fairies, and was called to pull up my fairy deck, is protection. So definitely when you are practicing any type of psychic um, work, protection, meditation, any of that stuff, make sure you are adequately protected, and put that, ground yourself, put that, draw your circle if you have to, if that's what you do. Bring in your guides to help protect you, but make sure you do practice protection when you are doing any type of work, if it's meditation, if it's any psychic work, tarot reading, anything like that. Don't forget to protect yourself. That's what I have.
All righty, very nice. She goes, girl, I've been singing all weekend. And yes, a solar eclipse is coming up.
It is this
I,
month, isn't it?
yeah, I
No,
think
next.
it's around the new moon next
hmm
week. I believe so. And she says there's two sides of the moon, both light and dark.
That's right.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
funny because
beautiful.
on here, her picture, she has the moon and the sun in the background.
Ooh, I like that.
So she has both energies on here for you.
And she says, thank you for the reading, girls. You are welcome.
Thank you.
And our last reading should bring us right to 7:30 and dinner time. We got
We
some
had
filet
ours early.
mignon, yes, for dinner tonight. So, um, Star, you are up
Oh, I
next,
love you,
my
Star.
dear.
I will be using that Rooted Woman Oracle for you for sure.
Nice. So, all righty. Let me just take this down. Oh, and Shelby says, okay, I'm going to go eat. Good night, everyone. Enjoy, sweetheart. So, Star, I got to reuse something. And I love this card because it reminds us of upcycling, of everything that, because in this day and age, we're always being bombarded. You need this latest gadget. You got to have this. And, I mean, it's just, or clothes, or this is what's the trends this year. So, I mean, it's constant, buy, 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 where bye, bye, bye. Good reasons. I heard that in my head. And next thing, bye, bye. Okay. Woohoo. Focus, Heather.
I love
So,
you, Heather.
I'm a Backstreet girl, but you gotta have. I have to admit, NSYNC had some really good songs. So reusing something. So this is very much like handing down clothes or repurposing something. I have a skirt that I cannot fit in. I never been able to fit in. I've had since I was in my mid 30s, and I always held on to it. I was like, no, I'm going to use the skirt for something, and now I'm going to be able to reuse it. It's going to Allison, and she's going to take it apart and make me a couple of beautiful bags for my tiles and for my cards. So things around that we can reuse, renew, pictures, photographs, creating collages, creating beautiful gifts to give to people. Nancy and I did a craft show where we did a couple episodes of junk journals, just taking old books, ripping pages out, putting in family pictures or artwork or tarot cards or oracle cards, things we don't use, and just, instead of going out and buying a whole bunch of supplies, see what you have that is personal, that has your energy in it. And I also love that these three are together. So maybe coming together, doing something with people within your family or your spiritual tribe, and going out and maybe helping others, collecting donations, something, but just really reconnecting. Reconnecting with others and being able to share your bounty with others. Like when we leave, everything that we have is going to go to charity. And we're hoping that there's going to be some family that's going to be able to, who might be starting out or who may have lost everything, that, here's some new plates, here's some new. So don't think of anything donating as something that small. And this is something too that Allison got me going into, with having to get ready to move and having to leave stuff and just letting stuff go and learning how to be able to give away things and what really still is special to you and speaks to you and what you can do to help and give to others. And I love to the moon cycles, how she includes that on here. So every, maybe there, because I'm not trying to make this about me, sir, but I'm just trying to give like examples. When I was in Arizona, I was part of a women's group, and we met, for the phases of the moon, especially the full moon. It was at Nan's house, and we would come together. Sometimes we would do crafts. I would bring some of my supplies, and the other women would bring theirs, and we would put everything in the middle, and we would create. We would do some sort of spiritual project or hobby or craft while celebrating the full moon, the goddess, and doing a little bit of ritual. So that's what I have with that cartoon. Maybe something with a group, following with the moon or connecting with the moon. Sisters of the Moon, like we did that one night. And of course, I took that from a Stevie song. But so looking at your tiles and your tarot cards, the overall energy I have is the Two of Cups. So it feels like there is some sort of relationship that's being addressed here. It looks like it's a harmonious one. Um, this could be with yourself. This could be with a particular person, a friend, a family, or it could be possibly a new love interest. The top card is the Ace of Wands. So, I mean, the Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. And so it's overflowing, it's exciting, it's emotional, it's just a lot of, to me, it's a lot of happiness. The flowing, the flowing waters, the blossoming lotuses, just feels like this is something very beautiful, starting to blossom. And when I pulled tiles, I had something interesting. I don't do reversals, but my hangman came up reversed. So I decided to honor that. And so making sure, first of all, right away, that you are not, possibly with this relationship, that you are not going to martyr yourself. You're not going to, because typically reverse, it's about martyrdom or looking at things from a different perspective. Just making sure that you are um, not giving away of yourself to this individual, that there is a healthy balance, not healthy balance, but healthy perspective what's the word I'm looking for, when you go into a relationship, there ain't any preconceived ideas right away. Just, kind of being open to see how things go, how things flow. And I got two kings. Good thing we're doing the court cards soon, because I'm getting hit with a lot of court cards today. So I got the King of Cups. And so I'm feeling, again, more water, more king, very emotionally secure, stable, is grounded, but, feels with the heart, very giving. And the other side I got was the King of Pentacles, the provider, the one that provides, not just monetary, assistance and security and stability, but also, a nurturing one as well. I don't know if these are aspects of yourself you're working to bring together in this relationship, but for me, I just keep feeling like there might be something new, or maybe revisiting, um, a relationship, and just making sure that, um, there isn't an unnecessary sacrifice, being made. So that's what I have, and I'll give you over to Celina. Now look
Hey,
at all the
Star.
comments. Oh, wonderful.
I know, I see that. So it's funny you mentioned upcycling, and then she mentioned upcycling with my garden this year. So look who came up for you, Miss Star, is Demeter, who's about agriculture and fertility. So she's a mother of Persephone, and then for those 6 months, she was very sad. She had was full of sorrow because Persephone was gone, but now that her daughter is back, she is back to being the nurturer of the earth. So it's kind of funny that you were talking about upcycling your garden. So definitely look up Demeter and see if any of that information resonates with you. A ritual that she has for you is engage in an act of nurturing, such as gardening or feeding birds. Reflect on how this act helps something to grow or thrive. So I thought that was really
I
um,
love the art on
perfect.
that card,
I know.
the
And
colors.
then um, Heather had a lot of water going on in hers, and
Hmm.
here we have one for you, the well, the source of life. So the water well is your spiritual wisdom that's flowing.
Beautiful.
But all of this has to be tended. Yeah, your creativity, your inspiration, all of that has to be tended from what I'm seeing with this well and the flowing water. Um, Here it says, replenish and renew yourself in the freely given waters of life. In the spirit of reciprocity, we offer in return our love and our gratitude for all in this world that upholds us. So definitely nurture your creativity. A
She says,
second
I'm
card.
nearly in tears.
Aw, another card from the Weirded Woman Oracle deck is
Oh,
Divine Madness. Look at her.
ooh,
I absolutely love
wow.
her. I love her wildness. I love her fearlessness. Um, Her name is Mish, even though it's MIS, it's pronounced Mish. So she's the wild woman speaking for us all, for the rage which we cannot express, for the grief which eats our heart out, for the voices we suppressed out of fear. Ultimately, Mish is healed by love and gentleness, and as the consequences, is able to return to the world with new strength and focus. So I feel like, again, with that well of life, that source of life, rejuvenating your creativity, yourself, your love, what inspires you, what nurtures your body into your mind and your soul into planting your seeds, redoing your garden, um, any type of creativity that you're dealing with, artwork, if any of that stuff is what you want to work on, making sure that you take time for yourself. And the fairies oracle, which is another one, is inspiration. So again, what inspires
Today,
you?
inspired. Yep, there we go.
It's I think
Perfect.
that's your word for today. What is inspiring you, Star? Um, what 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 moves you? What I mean, again, more inspiration. what's pushing your creativity? What is your source of inspiration? Is it your four-legged babies? Is it your husband? Is it um, the changing seasons? Uh, Gardening? Your rituals that you just did. You just did I think a self-love ritual, which was beautiful.
Mm,
Um, yeah, so definitely look and see what's inspiring you, and don't dim that light. Keep shining it bright, and keep working on who you are, and what you're about.
beautiful. And she says,
So,
I do work with the Fae, so this is all
oh,
making sense.
perfect.
And she said the reading that she goes, wow, that hits. So it was nice
I'm
to
happy,
read for
Star.
you, Star. I love reading for new people. I
Hmm.
really do. It makes me a little nervous because you never know. You know, when you know somebody, if you read for them a few times, then you kind of get an idea of what the cards are, you
Yeah,
know, referring to. So when you have somebody new, it's kind
she's
of
such
like,
a beautiful person. She has such a
am
beautiful
I getting it
energy.
right? Am I getting it right? So
Yeah,
thank you so much, ladies. Oh, you're welcome.
yeah, she has beautiful energy.
I love everybody new that's
Hmm.
been coming in the chat. I love how chat seems to be, my chats are being re-energized.
Yes,
This new energy,
re-inspired.
new
Inst-
people, it's re-inspired.
hmm.
I just love it. And I sometimes worry, am I going to lose that when I have to shut down for a while? But then I'm thinking, no, they're going to be
No,
there waiting for when you come back.
we'll be
So it's a
excited when
time
you
of,
come back.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it's nice to know that I don't have to worry about, jumping through hoops or doing, it'll all be.
Nope,
Oh,
we'll
I
be
need
here
trim
waiting
on
for
them.
you.
Aw, I'll be right. Yeah, okay, Heather, don't go into songs again. Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
that came out my junior or senior year in high school. Right here, waiting for you by Richard
Yeah.
Marx.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love that song.
yeah. This girl graduated in '90. So anyway, thank you everybody. Thank you, Celina, for joining me today,
Yeah, you're
and
welcome. Thanks for having me.
the wonderful conversations. Thank you everyone who had to leave early. Thank you for participating. I love when I am able to do a show like this. And yeah, it's fun to talk about food sometimes, but when we're doing, something truly spiritual and people are willing to open up,
Hmm.
and it's hard to with food sometimes because when you get hungry,
I know. We
especially
already
after a
had
show,
dinner,
you
so we're
gotta get,
good. Yeah, we
yep,
already had dinner.
you got to get grounded afterwards. But I
Yeah.
love participation like that in chat and people sharing. So thank you everybody for that. And wow, you have anything coming up, Celina, that you want to share with your channel or any videos
Um,
you're about to release? Because you
I
just did your
have
unboxing
I
with
did. I
your
did another
jars.
unboxing that's coming out on Wednesday. I won the Biblical Tarot on Instagram. So I have that. I did an unboxing. I did a couple pairings with that. And that those pairings came out really nicely. I do have a another get together with Bobby on April 6th.
In the cards.
It's in the cards, so we're gonna go and through all the cards, and I'm gonna be being interviewed. So
Hmm.
I know
He's
Star and I
very
have
good at
something
that.
coming up with also similar things. Star and I will be doing one similar. So
Very
I'm
cool.
excited for that too. And I think that's it for now.
Awesome. Busy
Yeah.
lady. I saw the video where you had ordered that those bottle tops from Etsy and they had like the
Yeah.
little mushrooms on top and the crystals. Those were cute.
I
I love the
know.
crystal
That's
on
the one
them.
that Carolina said she also purchased. She went into her Etsy and purchased
Oh,
the same one with the mushrooms on it. And when I purchased them, I didn't think like fairy energy, but then once I got it, I'm like, oh, this would be perfect for fairies.
mm-hmm.
So I'm
Beautiful.
starting to get in and learn about them and try and work with them.
That's why I say I love my brine Froud. I haven't worked with it, but was it last summer? No, the summer before. We would go to this place, a park called the Arboretum in North Tonawanda. I'm going to miss this park when we leave. And they break down sections, and one area is for herbs and flowers and plants that are for culinary, one for how people would get color from for clothing. And then there
Hmm.
was another one for like bees and butterflies. And then they had this other section. And I was just taking pictures the one day because I would love taking pictures and sending them to Allison at work. I'm like, look at this flower, look at this flower, look at the little groundhog, things like that.
Yeah.
And I was doing a photograph, and it was just like I was looking within these green stems or whatever, and it popped into my head. Do you remember when you used to play with us? And that just like jerked me around
Oh,
because as a kid, my mom said I used to, because my mom had the most beautiful flower beds and stuff. And I would sit there and I remember looking in the flowers and things and pretending I had made, pretend friends. And she says, well, she goes, you used to talk to them. They were your friends. I'm like, wow. And then all those years later,
fairy
taking a
energy.
picture, it pops in. So I know that once I get settled out there, I think I'm going to be more connected to nature in that
Oh,
area because
definitely.
we're not going to be far from like Shasta and stuff. So
No.
I'll have that energy where I think I'm going to be able to start working more with those cards. They're beautiful.
Oh,
So
how pretty.
I
I can't wait
cannot
to see
wait.
that.
Yes, yes, yes. And so Allison and I will be back Friday night and maybe we'll have a guest. I don't know. We'll have to talk. And thank you, Allison. Like great ladies. Yeah, great.
Thank
Oh, we're
you.
great ladies too. But yeah, great liar. And she says, I can't wait to get my order.
Oh
Woo!
yeah, it's gonna be a nice order. You're gonna be so happy with it. Did you get any of the incense?
Ooh, yeah, you were talking about the smell of the incense.
They
I would love
smell.
to find
We
a
need
nice real
smell-o-vision.
patchouli one where it just doesn't smell kind of like it on the outside of the box, and then when you burn, it's like
Hmm.
ready to go. Something
Yeah,
that really. Um, so
yeah. I can't wait to see like what you ordered, Carolina.
you'll have to do a video so we can all get to see. So everybody, um, thank you again for joining us, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. And Celina and I will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.